What if the greatest villain in Marvel history was hiding in plain sight, smiling behind sunglasses? What if Thanos and Loki weren't just fighting Tony Stark, but studying him? From the very first clash of steel and ego, something darker stirred, a destiny whispered through time, terrifyingly inevitable. Tony Stark was never just smart. He was catastrophically intelligent, the kind of mind that bends reality around its ideas. In Iron Man 1, his arc reactor isn't survival, it's defiance against limits. That same arrogance fuels Victor Von Doom, a thinker whose creations don't follow rules but replace them entirely. Watch Tony in his Malibu lab, holograms orbiting him like obedient planets. He doesn't ask if he should build something, only how fast. This world-shaping mentality mirrors Doom's philosophy, where intelligence becomes authority. When Tony says, "I am Iron Man," it isn't pride, it's a declaration of supremacy. Loki understood power differently than others. During the Avengers Tower confrontation, Loki circles Tony slowly, eyes scanning, voice soft. He ignores the suit and locks onto the man. There's curiosity there, almost admiration. Loki has ruled, conquered, and failed. He recognizes the same hunger forming quietly within Stark. When Loki says, "You have a heart," he scoffs, yet his gaze lingers. Moments later, he adds, "This is the basest sentimentality." Loki isn't insulting Tony, he's diagnosing him. He sees a potential tyrant pretending to be a hero, a ruler shackled temporarily by empathy and guilt. The scepter presses against Tony's chest, sparking memories not shown on screen. Cosmic weapons reveal truth. Loki's expression shifts, unsettled. He isn't seeing fear, but obsession. Tony doesn't break, doesn't kneel. Instead, he stares back, defiant. Loki steps away, shaken, having glimpsed a future even gods should fear. After New York, Tony doesn't celebrate. He builds. Nightmares drive him, visions of invasion, collapse, and failure. The Iron Legion isn't defense, it's surveillance. Tony isn't trying to protect humanity anymore, he's trying to control uncertainty itself, the same justification Doom uses to enslave nations for their own good. Age of Ultron makes this clearer. Tony creates Ultron without consent, without pause. He calls it peace, but peace enforced is tyranny disguised as salvation. Doom believes order must be imposed, never voted in. When Ultron says, "You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change," he's echoing Tony's soul. Tony's intelligence begins outpacing his morality. Each failure pushes him further. The Hulkbuster scene in Johannesburg isn't heroism, it's collateral damage rationalized after the fact. Doom also believes destruction is acceptable if the equation balances. Tony keeps solving problems, never questioning whether he should be the one holding the pen. Then comes Thanos. When they meet on Titan, Thanos doesn't sneer like he does at others. He studies Tony, trades philosophy, respects him. "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge," Thanos says, and the line lands heavy. Thanos isn't talking about intellect. He's talking about predestined monstrosity. Thanos has seen countless timelines, civilizations risen and erased. He recognizes patterns. Somewhere, in some reality, Tony Stark doesn't stop. He evolves, merges technology with cosmic energy, becomes something beyond human limitation. A Doom forged from guilt and genius, conquering not from cruelty, but from absolute certainty in his own correctness. Notice how Thanos tries to spare Tony. He stabs him, but then heals him. This mercy is strange. Thanos kills without hesitation, yet here he preserves Stark. Why? Because killing him early could fracture futures. Thanos understands. Tony is a fixed point, a necessary hinge in the multiversal mechanism of inevitability. Civil War exposes Tony further. The Sokovia Accords aren't accountability, they're security blankets. Tony wants permission to exist after he's already decided. Doom often pretends legality matters until it doesn't. When Steve resists, Tony doesn't debate ideology, he hunts him. Power challenged always reveals its true intent. Doctor Strange then peers through 14,605 futures. Most aren't losses because the Avengers fail. They fail because they win wrongly. In many futures, Tony survives, defeats Thanos, and continues evolving. He becomes feared, worshipped, unstoppable. A savior until the day his solutions cost free will itself. Strange sees worlds where Tony builds dimensional armor, siphons dark energy, and dictates peace across realities. No wars, no chaos, no choice. Doom achieved this in comics countless times. Strange realizes the most dangerous outcome isn't Thanos winning, it's Tony living long enough to finish saving everyone permanently. That's why Strange gives up the Time Stone. He isn't trading lives for victory. He's pruning futures. Tony must reach a specific crossroads, one where sacrifice halts evolution. Infinity War isn't about defeating Thanos. It's about guiding Stark to an end before he becomes an existential constant. Tony's final moments in Endgame aren't just heroic, they're tragic containment. And I am Iron Man. That line closes a loop. He chooses self-erasure over survival. In doing so, he stops the doomed trajectory. The snap doesn't just erase Thanos, it erases a future that terrifies cosmic beings. But ideas don't die easily. Genius leaves shadows. Across the multiverse, trauma repeats. Different Starks, different losses, same mind. Kang understands this. He speaks of recurring archetypes, fixed variants that keep emerging. Doom isn't a person. It's an answer the universe keeps generating to chaos. Imagine a reality where Tony never learned humility, where Peter died earlier, where Pepper was lost. In that world, Tony doesn't stop. He studies magic, merges it with nanotech, builds armor powered by dark dimensions. He calls himself Doom not as a warning, but as a promise of enforced peace. Heroes rise against him, but fail. Doom Tony predicts them all, like Ultron, but perfected, guided by experience instead of ideology. Entire timelines kneel. Strange survives, builds resistance, allies with Wanda. They know killing him won't work. Doom has anchored himself outside linear causality, beyond simple death. The final confrontation isn't a battle, it's a sacrifice. Strange and Wanda combine chaos magic and time lock spells, sealing Doom Tony into a pocket universe. A prison without mirrors, without witnesses. Alone with his thoughts. Saved from himself, but furious, convinced history will one day recognize his righteousness. Then, silence breaks. A figure steps from the shadows, armored, composed, sovereign. Victor Von Doom. He looks at Tony, unimpressed. You cannot become what already exists, he says. Doom isn't threatened. Tony was only ever a reflection, a variant brushing against an eternal constant of the multiverse. This revelation reframes everything. Thanos wasn't afraid of Tony's power. He feared him becoming redundant, destabilizing balance by impersonating Doom's role. Loki sensed it. Strange prevented it. Endgame wasn't closure, it was containment. And somewhere, Victor Von Doom still waits, untouched, inevitable, watching realities align in his favor. If this theory just rewired how you see Iron Man, the Avengers, and Doom, then you're in the right place. Stay tuned for deeper Marvel secrets, multiversal breakdowns, and stories hiding in plain sight. Like, subscribe, and join the FilmVerse Hollywood community, because the truth is always deeper than it seems.